from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve.
How did Cast come into your orbit?
You know, a lot of people have been encouraging me to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Most pressingly, Oprah Winfrey. You know, she really loves books, and so her and several other people were reading it. And this was during the pandemic, and it was also shortly after the murder of George Floyd. And I just wasn't really in a reading mood. But eventually, a few months later, I picked it up, and I was really captivated by it. The ideas, I didn't really understand them all. I'm not sure I agreed with them all, so I read it again. And then I read it again, and by the time I read it the third time, I felt like it could be a film, and I'd had the idea to follow the woman as she writes the book so that we can explore her own investigation and her process and learn as she learns.
I just wanted to know, do you feel like you have a responsibility to educate via cinema for those in our orbit that may be ignorant or ill-informed concerning the history of Black people in America?
It's less about feeling like there's a weight or I have to educate. I'm often celebrating our triumphs. That's what when they see us is. It's like, look at what these men and their families overcame. You know, that's what Selma is. It's like, you know, this could not be done and should not be done, but we will put our bodies on the line to make it so. And then the same for Origin. It's really just trying to lift the veil on something that's there that I learned about and thought, wow, this is right in front of us and we don't see it because it's made for us not to see. And so that's more about the way that I approach it. I like to make soul food that sticks to your ribs. I don't want my films to be a bag of Cheetos where you eat it. It felt good while you ate it, and then 2 minutes later you're like, why'd I eat it? So your teeth are orange. You're feeling you got a stomach ache. So that's the goal.
That is the greatest analogy I have ever heard in my entire life. I am so stealing that. Thank you, Ava DuVernay, for that one right there.
My pleasure.
Now, I know it was shot in 3 countries in 37 days and that you shot it on an indie budget. Is that correct?
It was on a small budget for a film that looks like this. So if you consider that A Wrinkle in Time was $100 million budget, this was a $38 million budget. It goes to a lot more places. We have 7 time periods that we tackle. So it was a logistical kind of organizational puzzle. But me and my producing partner Paul Garnes and I embraced it. You know, Paul and I have been working together side by side for years. 2 Black independent producers from my first films, Middle of Nowhere, Selma. He also produced every episode of Queen Sugar down there on the ground in New Orleans every day. So we work really well together and we were able to make the budget work.
Black people in Germany have a history, as do Jewish people in Germany. So what did that look like when you went up in Germany and you were like, so, hey?
Right. Well, you know, I think it's really important that people, you know, one of the things that the film does is it places African Americans in Germany. So there were, you know, I mean, we traveled the world. We created the world. You know, the reason why everyone is in these different places is because we moved around. And so the fact that at the top of the war, there were Black people in Germany, we actually showed 2 Black scholars, Allison and Elizabeth Davis, who were studying in Berlin at the time of the very rise of Hitler and the ascent of Nazism. And so we track what happened to them. You know, anyone that wasn't quote unquote Aryan and in perfect status in terms of their physical ability and many other kind of ideal Aryan qualities were considered at risk. And so these Black professors had to hustle out of Germany really quickly. And we show that connection, as well as the connection between how Nazi Germany, the Nazis, really got a lot of their ideas in terms of how to subjugate Jewish people from the United States. So that's one of the things that we show in the film that surprises many people, but it's history we should know.
I saw that in the film and I was like, I didn't know that either. And I was I was rather flabbergasted by that fact myself. Thank you for pointing that out. We're dealing with a time in America. You always, your films always come at a time in America where we're dealing with some mess here.
You
Always.
know what? You know what though, Carla? I'm gonna say I always hear that, but you know what? We're always dealing with some mess here. So I could drop a film at any time and it's gonna land on some mess.
You're not wrong, but you're not wrong. But this particular time though, you dropped this one right as we are in the process of a major influx of burning books here in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was,
Banning books. Yeah, banning
yeah,
books and the whole idea of, taking ideas and imagination and information off the shelves because one group doesn't think it's appropriate. I mean, that's basically the demise of democracy when you are regulating what people think, how they behave, what they can do with their own bodies, what they can do with their own minds. And so we're in a very dangerous time. That was why it was very important to me that this film be out this year. Even if it starts to turn 100 people on to the idea that we need to wake up and really aggressively take action about what's going on in this country, then it's worth it. We've got to move this film around so that we can really protect ourselves with knowledge, with information, with new ideas, with new language to take care of ourselves.
thank you for that answer. I just want to switch it up a little bit and talk to you about collaborating with one of my favorite composers, Chris Bowers. How
Yes.
do you guys get together and discuss your projects and what kind of thematic sound you'd like for whatever project it is, specifically with Origin?
Yes. Well, Chris Bowers is a genius. We'll be hearing about him for many, 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 many years. He'll be a
Absolutely.
household name, especially for Black people, very, very soon. He is a tender heart, a wonderful person, and just a brilliant mind. I love working with him. This is our third collaboration, maybe fourth collaboration. And so it's very intuitive. It's very organic. It's very brother and sisterly, familial. And we find our way through without a lot of pomp and circumstance. We feel our way through the music building, and it's a pleasure and an honor to work with them.
Ava, Origin was such a moving piece for me personally. It was educational for me personally. You know what a fan I am of your work. I champion everything you do all the time. There's even books of me writing about Wrinkle in Time. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to take this opportunity toward the end of the interview to thank you for your time. Thank you
Oh.
for your artistry. And thank you for always making people think whether they want to or not.
Thank you, Carla. Thanks for always supporting me and cheering me on. Bless you.
Right back at you.
Thank you. Thanks, sis.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.